Hi everyone, welcome back to Scrapping Scotland and a happy new year to each and every one of you. Guys, I'm going to start the year with a scrap down, so I hope you guys had a fantastic new year and that you have made a new year resolution. If it is scrap orientated, then please put a comment down below on what your scrap orientated new year resolution is. Mine's is going to be based around safety. To get a guard on my grinder. I think that's an important one, but also just to be more safety conscious when I'm coming to doing scrap teardowns. That being said, I just wanted to note something that was noted against one of the comments in my last video where I scrapped down a combination boiler. One of my newer subscribers actually did mention something about asbestos in old boilers, and that got me thinking as well, guys, that if you are a hobby scrapper and you're out there and doing new stuff you've never done before, just be cautious. Know what you're scrapping, do a little bit of research online. More combination boilers nowadays don't have asbestos in them, but ones from years ago did. And if you are getting boilers from old renovations or whatever that may be, then they could have asbestos within that boiler. So just be really careful. Things like smoke detectors and things like that as well, we don't really scrap at all. There's a lot of talk around magnetrons and beryllium. Obviously newer magnetrons don't have beryllium, they don't contain them anymore. It's more of a aluminium oxide that they contain. But old kind of radar magnetrons certainly did have beryllium in them as well. So again, just be cautious, guys, and know what you are scrapping. Okay, do a little bit of research, or jump on one of the scrappers' channels and ask a scrapper. Okay. So our first scrap down of the year, guys, is going to be this. Now this is an exercise vibration plate. Let me plug it in and show you what I mean. Okay, so plugged in, turned on. As you can see, it has all these different modes. You can tune up you can link up your phone or your music to it as well as you're exercising, and it has all different kinds of speeds and vibration. Now, as you can see, it is broke. Although it does change modes, I can't seem to actually turn it on and vibrate. Nothing seems to be happening in terms of the vibration. So I'm going to scrap this one, guys, and see what we get out of it. Now, what I'm hoping to get out of it, I'm hoping to get out a copper motor. I'm not sure I will. It's probably smaller motors in here, but again, I'm not going to know that until I take it apart. Now, this whole thing weighs 13.1 kilos. So let's see what we get out of it once we scrap it. Guys, so we're unplugged and there's our power cord, and we will strip that power cord later. First thing is we'll take the pad off the top. Nice new rubber floor mat for me, thank you. So now it is loose, but we've still got some screws to get out. We'll need to use the old manual screwdriver for. That one's just spinning. Get this off here. Okay, so we've got a little board here. Get that off shortly. screws flying around everywhere. Okay, so there's definitely a motor in it, but I'm not sure that's going to be got a starter in it that I can take apart, unfortunately. Let's try and get the rest of it undone. Okay, so now I think I'll have to get the feet off because I think there's probably more screws underneath the feet. Or the feet are screws themselves. Something easy about it, that's good. There we go, another little board. There's a little switch. Okay, there's a more plate. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a minute. I'm looking at the rest of this. It's just a kind of drive belt and a cog. All of that can just go into the shred. So this whole piece can just go into the shred. Okay, so I did have to drill this one out because it just wasn't coming out at all. But we got it. And there it is. And as you can see inside the motor, so it's just an armature, which is fine. All this goes straight into the shred, and this is our copper. Now the next problem is trying to get this piece off without having to cut it, but I may have to cut it. So actually we've got a little screw hole in this side. Might be able to get this out. Go. Hopefully it lifts off now. Nope, still doesn't lift off. Well guys, I'm afraid that one falls straight into the category of waste of time, because there was nothing really of value in it. So I say nothing of value, you got little bits and bobs, so let's have a look. So we did get our armature, we got a switch with our plug socket, got a little bit of insulated wire, obviously got our power cord, we got 3 really crap little boards, and our shred metal, which is, that's all the screws, that's the main piece of shred. We've got a tiny little bit of brass, that I've put as dirty brass because it's covered in solder. We've got a little bit of copper there that came off the brass, a couple of little brass pins, and that's about it. So the reason I showed you that as a video, guys, is not all the time you do scrapping you're going to get loads of copper or brass or aluminium. You know, we did get a little bit of aluminium, a tiny bit. We did get a tiny bit of copper in terms of our armature. But that's the joys of scrapping. You never know what you're going to get until you actually take it apart and see what's there. So not the best outcome, but hopefully it prevents any of you guys going and tearing apart a vibration board. Now you can just put it straight into shred, okay? So I'm not going to weigh up any of the little bits I've got, because as you can see they were such small pieces, so no real value in weighing them up. Hopefully next teardown we get something a little bit more value, but tune in and we'll see on the next one. Bye for now.